Hi Acadiana, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Just to give you an update on what's going on across Acadiana, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 8 o'clock. We've got a pretty good line of showers and thunderstorms that are starting to move across central portions of Louisiana, and we will continue to see that as we go into the afternoon hours. Unfortunately, it looks like that afternoon commute is going to be affected by these particular thunderstorms. As we look at the radar, we can see that there's quite a bit of rain that continues here across central portions of Louisiana, and that is going to, that's already prompted several severe thunderstorm warnings. One severe thunderstorm warning there is now expiring over the central part of Louisiana. That's the one that includes Allen, Evangeline, Rapides, as well as Avoyelles and going into Vernon and Jeff Davis parishes. But we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's just gone up, and this is going to cover parts of Allen, Evangeline, Avoyelles, St. Landry, and much of northern St. Martin, Lafayette, and all of Acadia Parish, as well as portions of Jeff Davis Parish. Winds up to 60 miles per hour are possible, and we could have some large hail, maybe nickel-sized hail possible with this particular severe thunderstorm. So the rain does continue to push off toward the southeast. It is moving rather slowly, so we've gotten some fairly hefty amounts of rain that have come down here across central portions of Louisiana. So there could be some additional street flooding in those particular areas. To give you an idea of some of the heavier amounts of rain, we'll just kind of start over here in Beauregard Parish, now starting to move into the central part of Beauregard, south of LA 28, and then we've already, and west of LA 26 rather. Then in the northern part of Allen Parish, we've got some moderate to heavy rains that are coming down. So if you're in the 165 corridor or there north of US Highway 190, I'm sure the skies are quite dark there, looking northward from Elton and Basile and back to the northwest from Mamou. You're probably getting some rain already. The same goes there between Opelousas and Ville Platte, there along the 167. And then as you get up north into Pine Prairie and Turkey Creek, there along LA 13, 105, I think is another one that's up there, 29 that rolls out of Ville Platte. Moving off toward the northeast, going up toward Bunkie. So we've got quite a bit of rain that's out there, and these severe thunderstorms are going to continue to move off toward the southeast. There are some fairly gusty winds to go along with this as well, and as we kind of look at the if we can get this to load in here, as the National Weather Service page sometimes is a little bit slow to load in. Velocities aren't showing any rotation, but they are starting to show somewhat of some damaging winds, and that's most likely what we're going to be looking at here, especially over parts of Allen and Evangeline Parish initially. Really not a lot of rotation there, but do keep in mind that those winds could gust as high as 60 miles per hour, and those winds, when they get to that extreme, are quite loud as well. So we've had the severe weather over the past couple of days. A lot of folks questioning whether we've got straight line winds or a tornado or microbursts or downbursts. But when the wind starts to blow more than 50 or 60 miles per hour, it gets pretty loud out there. So regardless, with these severe thunderstorms coming in, you probably want to go ahead and take cover. Again, this is going to be impacting the 190 corridor here as we get up to the 4 o'clock time period. And unfortunately, it looks like it's probably going to be affecting the I-10 corridor as well as we get into the 5 o'clock time period. So going to hit the refresh button on here, see if we can get the new. There's the new warning box that covers Lafayette, St. Martin, Acadia, Jeff Davis going into Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry. So this is in anticipation of these thunderstorms continuing to move off down toward the south, and with that we will see those heavier downpours coming on in. Let's go ahead and put the radar into motion here too. It might take a couple of seconds for it to load in, but you can see the bulk of the activity is kind of drifting off toward the east, but we're starting to see some development a little bit farther toward the south. So the entire line does appear to be moving toward that 190 corridor, and will eventually head into portions of Acadia and into Lafayette Parish and St. Landry Parish here in just a little while. But there is a severe thunderstorm watch that does remain in effect for the Acadiana region and that is going to be in effect there until 8 o'clock. So I'm going to step back here for just a second. We'll come back and do some more play-by-play in just a minute as these thunderstorms continue to move off toward the southeast. But we'll get an update on the social media pages and the crawl as well. For now, you're watching the Severe Weather live stream on Acadiana Weather Today, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Well, hi, Acadiana, as we're back here watching a pretty hefty line of thunderstorms moving across northern parts of Acadiana right now and starting to approach that 190 quarter. We are seeing a severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be in effect until 4:45, and that's for a pretty good area of Acadiana, and that's the map there, parts of Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, Avoyelles, Jeff Davis, Acadia, Lafayette, and St. Martin parishes all under this severe severe thunderstorm warning. Those hefty thunderstorms are now starting to make their way into that 190 corridor, and with it we've seen some fairly heavy rains that have been out there, and I think we're going to be seeing some pretty good downpours coming through. Unfortunately, this is going to be affecting parts of our morning or our afternoon commute here. And as you can see right there along US Highway 190 going through Beauregard and Allen parishes, it's now starting to approach the southern parts of those parishes. We've got numerous reports of very heavy rain, some winds gusting as high as 60 miles per hour. Haven't seen any reports of any damage just quite yet, and I will say that the line of thunderstorms seems to have broken up just a little bit here, but that still doesn't mean that we're not going to see any powerful thunderstorms coming in. The original thought was a lot of this was going to clip maybe Evangeline and St. Landry parishes, but it did kind of build back a little farther toward the west. Not too much farther to the west, though. We're not seeing a lot of development over portions of Texas. So I would say most of the areas west of Lake Charles are probably going to be okay, and probably much of Cameron Parish too, but anywhere basically from about, let's say, Welsh eastward along the I-10 going over into St. Martin Parish through Lafayette will be threatened by this line of thunderstorms. Vermilion and Iberia as well, and going into St. Mary Parish too. So that's what we're looking at across Acadiana right now. And the line of thunderstorms is just very, very slowly moving off toward the south and east. It looks like it's moving very slowly, really only about 35 miles per hour, which compared to some of the other severe thunderstorms we've seen over the past couple of weeks, this is actually running a lot slower. So just to really recap what we've got here, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for parts of Lafayette Parish, Acadia, St. Landry, eastern parts of Jeff Davis, the southern sections of Allen Parish, virtually all of Evangeline, all of St. Landry, and the southern half of Avoyelles Parish, and the northern portion of St. Martin Parish. Now, this severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect until 4:45, just about maybe 10-15 minutes ago. Severe thunderstorms were starting to cross, getting closer to that Highway 190 corridor, and so far we're looking at nickel-sized hail and perhaps 60-mile-per-hour winds. Some of the cities that will be impacted with this will be Lafayette, Opelousas, Crowley, Eunice, Jennings, Scott, Breaux Bridge, Rayne, Oakdale, Carencro, Ville Platte, Church Point, Bunkie, Mamou, Welsh, Lake Arthur, Kinder, Simmsport, Basile, and Oberlin. If you live in or near any of these towns, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. So let's go ahead and get back to the radar, and this is what we've got currently as the thunderstorms are continuing to move a little bit closer to that Highway 190 corridor. So if you live there from, let's say around Elton and Basile, and then going over to Eunice and then eastward into Opelousas, you folks, if you're looking up to the north, you're already seeing the heavy thunderstorms that are out there. You can see the dark skies off to the north. And Ville Platte, you're getting some very heavy rain right now, as well as Pine Prairie, Mamou, and over towards Chautauqua. And then as you get a little bit farther to the east, going into portions of St. Landry Parish, we've got those very heavy area of rain there that's currently just east of Ville Platte and into the central and northern portions of St. Landry Parish. So if you live northwest of Washington, or maybe eastward to around Palmetto, that's where we're looking at the heaviest amounts of rain. I-49 is going to be pretty rough, let's say north of Washington, so probably about about mile marker 24, 25, and then going up from there as you go up toward Alexandria. Meanwhile, over in Evangeline Parish, Chautauqua getting some decent rains, as well as Mamou and Ville Platte. Pine Prairie going up to Turkey Creek. Turkey Creek starting to see a bit of improvement as the radar refreshes here. And then off toward the west, along that 165 corridor, we've got pretty hefty rains that are coming down from Oberlin to Oakdale. Kinder down to the south, you're just about ready to get into the thick of this. and over toward Reeves, which is a little bit farther off toward the west, and just east and southeast of the Fort Polk area, or Fort Johnson rather, is where we're seeing some of the heavier rains there into portions of Beauregard Parish. So this extends a little bit farther toward the west as well, and is going to continue to push off toward the southeast. So again, a bigger picture here. You can see Acadia, Lafayette, as well as Jeff Davis parishes right now are not seeing the rain, but it is on the way, and there is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for a pretty good chunk of Acadiana. That would include these parishes right here: Allen, Evangeline, southern parts of Avoyelles, all of St. Landry, eastern Jeff Davis, virtually all of Acadia, northern 2/3, I'll say, of Lafayette Parish, and then northern sections of St. Martin Parish too. And everybody, just about everybody, is under a severe thunderstorm watch, with the exception of Calcasieu, Cameron, and it looks like St. Mary Parish has been omitted from this as well. And I think that that's a pretty good coverage area. I think St. Martin and Iberia, not quite sure if these thunderstorms are going to continue to make their way all the way toward the south, getting into portions of St. Mary Parish. Now, the main threat of this is going to be some very heavy rains, which is going to cause some street flooding over areas that normally do so. You know those roadways, so just avoid those areas. There's also the possibility of some damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. And we'll see some small hail too. And whenever you get that hail and those gusty winds, there's always the chance you're going to see those downbursts or microbursts that are out there as well. And those winds can be just as damaging and just as loud and scary as a tornado would be. A lot of folks talking about the difference between microbursts and tornadoes over the last couple of days, and pretty much everybody saying the exact same thing, is it sounded so loud and we could hear everything hitting the walls and the windows there. But the wind, no matter how, when you're getting over 60, 70 mile per hour winds like that, it is very, very loud, whether it's a tornado, a microburst, or just some straight line winds. So because this is a severe thunderstorm warning, you are urged to stay inside, take cover, and just at least stay away from the doors and the windows here as these thunderstorms roll on through. Unfortunately, this is going to be affecting many people's afternoon commute. You can see how the rains are now approaching 190. So Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry are kicking this up at about 4 o'clock, while the pace of this is moving about 35 miles per hour to the southeast. We'll probably start to get some of the thunderstorms rolling into the I-10 corridor here a little bit later on this afternoon. Unfortunately, here in Lafayette, that could mean the 5 o'clock drive for many of you. So plan accordingly. If you're checking out the radar, or if you're hearing this broadcast and you have the opportunity to maybe get home a little bit early. It's a great excuse, by the way. I'll write you a note if you want to. But just so that you can get on the roads and get off of the roads before these thunderstorms come in. Even if they're not severe by the time they reach the I-10 corridor, they are going to cause some big time slowdowns, and there could be also some street flooding there. So do please use caution as you are moving out and about this afternoon. Let's go ahead and take a bigger view of what we're looking at here, and you can see how the thunderstorms, the whole complex, this is what we call a mesoscale convective system, an MCS, and we've been watching it since this morning. It was up in southeastern Oklahoma and had a little bit more of an easterly trajectory, but it's now kind of pushing a little farther toward the southeast now, and the air mass is unstable enough that we can still support some showers and thunderstorms. So if you notice, the entire thing is generally moving off toward the east, but we're starting to catch some of those thunderstorms drifting a little bit farther toward the south and entering into the Acadiana area. There's possibility another outflow boundary could come out of this and could stir up some more thunderstorms. So with that threat there is that severe thunderstorm watch in all of the parishes there in yellow that's going to be in effect until 8 o'clock. So some large hail, damaging winds, lots of lightning, heavy rain, and you can't rule out the possibility of an isolated tornado when you have these severe thunderstorm watches. But this will be up for about another 4 hours here, and I really think that's going to be a good call, as the Highway 190 corridor is going to get the bulk of this, and I think the worst of the weather is going to shift over toward the Baton Rouge area, but we're going to get some of it here, at least in Jeff Davis, Acadia, Lafayette, St. Martin, and maybe northern parts of Vermilion and Iberia. So having that severe thunderstorm watch in place to at least let folks know what's going on, to make them aware, especially this time of the day. And as I said, if you have the opportunity to get home early from work, if you normally get off at 5 and you're here in Lafayette, you got plenty of time to get where you need to go before these thunderstorms come in. I think they're going to start to roll in a little bit closer to maybe that 4:30, 5 o'clock time period. And you can see as the radar continues to load back in, we'll see if we can zoom it in and out and see if it'll load up there. And really, most of the action is still farther toward the north, and it's taken a while for it to sink off toward the southeast. We'll go ahead and put the radar into motion. You can see how the main area of thunderstorms is kind of just moving off to the east, but there's this slow southward movement to the whole system there, and that's why the severe thunderstorm warning was popped up there for parts of Jeff Davis and Acadia, Lafayette, and into St. Martin Parish as well. So here in Lafayette in the I-10 corridor, I think you have until at least 4:30 before anything really starts to kick up. So like I said, if you've got that opportunity, if you can duck out a little bit early, you might be able to get home in time, and that'll be a lot easier on you and the other drivers that are trying to get through, especially when the rains are quite heavy. Going to step back for just a second, do a quick update on social media. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for all of these parishes for about another 40 minutes or so. Main threat is going to be some damaging winds and some nickel-sized hail, and on top of that, some very, very heavy rain to go along with it. So right now you're watching the Severe Weather live stream on Acadiana Weather Today. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes with another update. Okay, Acadiana, back 413 is your time, and we are still looking at a pretty good line of thunderstorms here across central portions of Acadiana, now starting to move down toward the I-10 corridor as well, and we've got it in motion for right now. And you can see that 190 corridor is right about in here, and that's where the line of thunderstorms continues to push toward the south. Right now, the I-10 corridor has not seen the showers and thunderstorms out there, but it is going to be coming in as we go through the next several hours. Meanwhile, that severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for a good part of Acadiana until 4:45, so we've got another half an hour or so before this kind of winds down. Let's go ahead and take a look at the wide range of what we're looking at across Acadiana right now. This is what we call a mesoscale convective system, MCS. You've probably heard it on television several times. And we've seen, I don't know, seems like 40 or 50 of these over the last couple of weeks here during the severe weather season coming down in the northwest flow. They kind of start out near the Texas Panhandle. They roll through the Red River Valley, and a lot of these have been really hitting central and northern Louisiana hard, but we've gotten our taste of it too here in the Acadiana region, and that's kind of what we're looking at again. You can see the entire system is basically moving east toward Mississippi, but the individual line of thunderstorms is now starting to slide a little bit farther toward the southeast. So looking at the bigger radar there, you can see that the showers and thunderstorms are starting to approach 190. So if you live in Opelousas, over to around Eunice, westward to around Basile, and then getting into southern portions of Allen Parish there around Kinder, and then westward over into Beauregard. That's the leading edge of the thunderstorms right now. And a little closer view showing that heavy line of thunderstorms there. As we zoom in on a couple of areas here, we can look there at portions of Allen Parish, and Allen Parish is really in the bulk of this right now. So anywhere there along that 165 or Highway 90 corridor, the heavy rains are coming in. Also some pretty good rains, again, just along that Highway 90 corridor into Evangeline and over toward portions of St. Landry Parish. And you can see we've got some really heavy rains that are coming down now over northern parts of St. Landry Parish. Just looks like it's just getting into Opelousas right now. Opelousas right there. Then you got Krotz Springs over there, and you got Melville right about in there. Washington is already in it as well, and then Eunice way out here. Just now starting to get into the action, so very, very heavy rains will be coming down, and still watching that radar as well with the severe thunderstorm warning continuing to stay in place. Let's look at that real quick, that severe thunderstorm warning that still remains in effect for a good chunk of Acadiana. That's going to be for Allen, Evangeline, southern Avoyelles, which I think southern Avoyelles is starting to get out of this now. Much of St. Landry, Jeff Davis, Acadia, Lafayette, and into northern parts of St. Martin Parish, all under a severe thunderstorm warning. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, and nickel-sized hail will be possible. And on top of that, some very heavy rains. I'm starting to notice that in the wake of these thunderstorms, as they move out of central Louisiana, basically everywhere from Fort Johnson through Alexandria and then eastward to the Mississippi state line is now under a flash flood warning. Now, do keep in mind our friends up in Cenla have had a tremendous amount of rain over the last several weeks. In fact, I believe Alexandria finishing nearly 10 inches of rain above normal for the month of May, and they've started out June quite wet as well. A lot of folks were commenting on social media over the past couple of days, rather have this than a drought. Nobody wants to see what happened in 2023, but I do want to remind you, 2023 here in Lafayette was not the driest year ever. In fact, it doesn't even make the top 10. It was definitely the hottest, where we had those temperatures well above 100 degrees for so many days, but it was nowhere close to the driest. And we were actually pretty lucky early in the year in 2023. We went into the summer just a little bit above normal, and we're going into this summer well above normal. So actually, I think there are quite a few folks that would probably embrace a little drying out period as well. There's the base reflectivity activity again, kind of wait for it to load in, but you're getting a pretty good idea of where the showers and thunderstorms are. And a closer view here looking at St. Landry Parish right now, and with the radar in motion, you can see those heavy thunderstorms are coming in. I'm going to go ahead and stop the radar and put it on the last frame there. And we are starting to see the line kind of breaking up a little bit. It doesn't look nearly as strong as what it did, or at least solid as it did maybe about an hour ago. But that severe thunderstorm warning will go ahead and stay in effect for about another 25 minutes. Not sure if it's going to be extended or not, because we're running out of time, and this is moving ever so slowly toward the I-10 corridor. So much of the area that we're looking at right about in here that's still under a severe thunderstorm warning has yet to see any rain. I live in Lafayette, and I'm still generally seeing some peaks of sunshine. It is starting to get a little darker outside, but those breezes have been up for most of the day, and kind of maybe pulling some moisture and feeding some of those thunderstorms. What I did want to watch out for, though, is the possibility of some additional thunderstorms, maybe trying to develop ahead of that. We've got a little bit of action here, maybe over parts of Vermilion Parish, maybe something trying to develop and lift off toward the north, but we have seen occasional showers or kind of streamer type of showers developing south of this, and then just kind of working their way in and fitting themselves into the parts of the line of thunderstorms as it continues to go on through. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now over southern sections of Acadiana. So let's zoom it back out here, and you can see where all the warnings are. And the darker red that's up there higher up into Cenla, those are all flash flood warnings that have been posted. But we're more concerned with the severe thunderstorm warning right now that will be in effect for another 25 minutes or so. It does cover Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, Jeff Davis, Acadia, Lafayette, and St. Martin parishes. A little bit of Avoyelles as well, but I think Avoyelles Parish so far now seems to be kind of getting more out of this area. Avoyelles Parish is on up here, so you're kind of on the back edge, and same goes for Rapides, and it looks like Vernon, you're probably okay as well. But the primary threat right now is over central parts of St. Landry, Evangeline, and Allen parishes, and now starting to edge its way into the extreme northern parts of Jeff Davis and Acadia Parish as well. So let's go over a couple of the areas that are seeing the moderate to heavy rain right now. Washington, you're getting a pretty good downpour as we speak, and we're also seeing some very heavy rains now starting to come in to the Opelousas area. Palmetto, you're getting some decent rains as well. Leonville now starting to pick up too. And in fact, looking at some of that rain that we're seeing there over parts of, let's say, eastern St. Landry Parish, looks like maybe there might be a little bit of hail coming down here over areas right around Leonville. So east of the I-49 and north of the I-10. So kind of there just to the south of the 190 corridor. This area here over south central parts of St. Landry Parish might be picking up on some of that hail. You got big rains that are coming down. You got big rains that are coming down now over parts of Ville Platte. And then getting into areas of central Evangeline Parish, Chautauqua, Mamou, getting very heavy rains right now up and down that 13 corridor, all the way up to Pine Prairie, but it does seem to be improving as you get up toward Turkey Creek. Eunice, you've got some decent rains that are in and around the area, but most likely that's going to start to come in to your area here pretty soon as well. So if you live anywhere in the panhandle of St. Landry Parish, there west of Opelousas and Lawtell, and getting over to around Eunice, you're going to be seeing the rains coming in. Highway 190 corridor continuing off toward the west through Basile and Elton. You can see that's going to be kind of a rough drive as well. And we've also got areas there over Allen Parish along that 165 corridor is yet another region, kind of runs right about in there. And that is going to be quite the rough drive as well. And unfortunately, and I apologize, this is coming in right here during the afternoon commute. So got a big flare-up of some thunderstorms that now seems to be popping up here right around Church Point. So now south of that 190 quarter, and you see a couple of more of these little feeder thunderstorms like trying to come in here that kind of develop, and they just lift northward, and then they just join the crowd of the line of thunderstorms as it moves off toward the east. But again, there's a lot of rain out there, and that severe thunderstorm warning stays in effect until 4:45. So give you that idea. Again, once again, we're looking at a severe thunderstorm warning. Those are the areas that are affected right now, although much of Acadia, Lafayette, and St. Martin Parish still has yet to see the heavier downpours to come in here as well. So that severe thunderstorm warning will stay in effect. If it may actually be extended if that severe weather threat seems to be sticking around. But Lafayette, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning, as well as Carencro and Sunset, Jennings, Iota, and then over toward Crowley. Now, I know there's a lot of you folks that are not seeing the rain yet, but the line of thunderstorms is starting to slide a little bit farther toward the south. So keep that in mind over the next several hours. As I said earlier, if you've got a chance maybe to duck out of work a little bit early, if you're one of those folks that does the 9 to 5, and you live along the I-10 corridor, if you're able to get out, maybe head back home. If you can get home within 30 minutes, you'll probably be okay. Southern sections there, Vermilion, Iberia, and St. Mary. I don't think this is going to get in here until after the 5 o'clock drive. So if you want to go ahead and lie to your boss anyway and say big storms are coming, no sweat off my back. I like to get off early sometimes too. But I think you folks down in Vermilion, Iberia, and St. Mary, and even much of St. Martin Parish, probably have until after 5 o'clock until these bigger thunderstorms come in. Also wanted to point out the fact of the amounts of rain that have been coming down in some cases here. We've seen just a tremendous amount of rain over a good part of the Acadiana region. So as I go back over here to the radar real quick, we can see that those heavy downpours are coming in. And these are some really saturated grounds here over parts of St. Landry and the northern part of St. Martin Parish. So flooding is going to be an issue again. We saw the flooding that took place there over around Henderson and Brobridge and Cecilia, and up toward Arneville we had quite a bit of flooding. So anywhere in northern parts of St. Martin and southern parts of St. Landry Parish, you're just really not able to take on a whole lot more rain. So again, this is going to cause some flooding issues. Even just a little downpour is probably going to give you some problems, especially over to around Henderson and Cecilia and Brobridge in particular. You still have some time before these thunderstorms get to your region. So as I said, if you've got the opportunity maybe to get out a little bit early, then there's a better possibility that you're going to be able to get home safely. And again, other commuters that do have to be on the road during that period of time. But I'll tell you, I took a little ride up, going up to around Port Barry and over to around Arneville and down to around Brobridge and then eastward over to around Henderson. And man, this was on Sunday and the water was just everywhere at the time and the rain had stopped. So really not looking for more rain for these folks. That's not going to be a good thing. And we'll watch that though as it comes in. But I wouldn't be surprised if a flash flood warning did pop up for those areas, kind of the same as what we're seeing the flash flood warning now that covers a good part of central Louisiana. Basically, all of Rapides, Avoyelles, and Vernon parishes are now under a flash flood warning, and that's because of the heavy rains that have already passed through. Put this back into motion real quick as we look at it here, and we can see how the thunderstorm complex continues to be pushing more toward the east, but we're starting to see some thunderstorms trying to feed, or at least some showers that are trying to feed their way into it, kind of developing a little farther toward the south, and they will kind of develop and roll in here and kind of join the pack, and then they'll all kind of head off toward the east-northeast. So the entire line of thunderstorms is going to be sinking southward, and that severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for a good chunk of Acadiana here until 4:45. So even though we haven't seen the heavy downpours here in Lafayette, it is starting to get a little bit darker out there, but we're just looking at breezy conditions here in the mid-city. But as you drive northward on I-49 or up along the 95 or 13 going up up toward Eunice. Again, these are all the highways that come off of I-10, 97, 99, 101. All of those highways that go north and south there between 190 and I-10 are going to be impacted by this severe thunderstorm. So a severe thunderstorm warning in effect there until 4:45, and we'll continue to watch to see if this warning is extended, because it does appear that the showers and thunderstorms are kind of having a hard time getting into the southern areas of this warning box. But at the same time, we're starting to see the line breaking a little bit there, so we'll just have to watch and wait and see what the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service over in Lake Charles decides to do. So right now, that is the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have in town at this point, but that's until 4:45. So about another 15 minutes or so, we'll continue to watch that particular severe thunderstorm. As I said, if you live here in Lafayette or Crowley or Dusau or over to around Rayne, even Jennings and Breaux Bridge and over to around Henderson, all the towns there along the I-10 corridor, you're starting to run out of time before these thunderstorms start to roll in. So if you are planning to duck out of work a little bit early, if you're heading southward from the I-10 corridor, I think you're going to be okay. But if you're going to be heading northward and you're maybe thinking, oh, I live in Lafayette, or I work here in Lafayette, but I live in Opelousas, this might be a chance for you just to kind of hold tight instead, maybe stay a little extra time at work rather than ducking out early. But if you live here in Lafayette and maybe you can get down to Broussard, Youngsville, Abbeville, getting down to New Iberia, if you're leaving in the next few minutes, I think you'll probably be okay, other than some spotty showers that are just trying to develop here along just south of that boundary where that severe thunderstorm warning is. So again, we're kind of looking at some isolated thunderstorms at least trying to develop here, and it looks like over toward Jennings we got a little bit trying to get going too, maybe something over here into southern St. Martin Parish. But all of these that develop are just going to go ahead and move off toward the north and kind of join that line of thunderstorms, then head over toward the east. I really think the capital city is going to have a little bit more of a threat from this, as the bulk of this is moving off to the east. And I will tell you that the tail end here does seem to be dissipating somewhat. Earlier today, a lot of this was over in Texas, but we're not seeing quite as much developing there. There's also a little bit of an outflow boundary that you can see that right here on the radar there. As that pushes off toward the south and kind of runs into some fairly unstable air, we could get some new development along that, and that might head toward the coast. I think for the most part, Lake Charles, I don't think you're going to see quite as much of this as what we're going to be seeing over the eastern portions of Acadiana this time around. So again, we'll go kind of town by town here, parish by parish. Let's start in St. Landry Parish, Washington. You're getting very heavy rain. Same goes with Opelousas, Port Barre, as well as Leonville, Palmetto, Krotz Springs, and Melville, all getting in on the action. Arneville, you've got the rain pretty close to you. There's probably some spotty showers around, but the big stuff hasn't quite reached you, and much of St. Martin Parish right now so far is okay, and also here in Lafayette. But Karen Crow, the thunderstorms are on your doorstep. Sunset and Grand Coteau, you're also just now starting to get in on the action. Let's move over here to Acadia Parish real quick. Church Point just getting in on that rain. So if you live there around Church Point or Richard, or even in southern St. Landry Parish around Cankton, you're going to be getting the rains there. Chautauqua in Evangeline Parish now starting to get into some of that heavy rain. Ville Platte, you've been getting a downpour here for quite some time. And moving off toward the west into the panhandle of St. Landry Parish, Eunice, you still have thunderstorms in and around you, but the main line is still working its way closer to you. So as you're just starting to get into the rain there along the 190 corridor, and then stretching westward to Basile and Elton and Kinder and Reeves over in the southwestern portion of Allen Parish. But if you live inland of Evangeline, Allen, and St. Landry Parish, you've been dealing with the heavy rains for quite some time. And I wouldn't be surprised if some flood warnings got posted for those particular areas. It does look like a flood warning is in place here for parts of Evangeline Parish right now, and that extends into northern parts of St. Landry. So if you live in Palmetto or Washington or Ville Platte or up toward Cottonport, Evergreen, and maybe in Bunkie, looks like you're under a flash flood warning right now with these heavy downpours coming on in. Let's real quick again review the severe thunderstorm warning that's currently in place. Right now it's Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry. I think Avoyles, you're okay right now. Jeff Davis, Acadia, Lafayette, as well as St. Martin Parish. Looks like from Roll Tide 99, heavy rain getting into Basile, and Amy Foreman asking if it will come into Lafayette. Right now, Amy, it does appear that these thunderstorms are going to be coming into Lafayette. Earlier, with some of the computer model data that I had early this morning, it looked like maybe St. Landry and then areas east of us were going to get clipped, but this kind of extended a little bit farther toward the west. So yeah, here in Lafayette, it does appear that we're going to at least get some of the rain. We are under a severe thunderstorm warning for another 10 minutes or so, and I haven't seen this being extended just yet. So yeah, Amy, here's Lafayette right there, and you can see the rains are just off toward the north. So they are going to be working their way in, and I think the I-10 corridor is going to be impacted by this. Now, whether or not this is still going to be a severe thunderstorm has yet to be seen, but right now, Lafayette, St. Martin, and Acadia parishes are all under a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45, and the primary threat is damaging winds and also some nickel-sized hail. I think we've seen a little bit of hail indicated on radar over south central parts of St. Landry Parish. So if you live over, let's say, to around Leonville or maybe up to Port Barry and eastward over toward Krotz Springs, if you live kind of in that southeastern part of St. Landry Parish, there's a chance that you have seen some hail there. I'm going to zoom it in a little bit closer here so we can get a better look. And right in this area here, as we put that into motion, east of Opelousas, right around the LA 347 going up to Port Barry, that's where I think we might have seen the possibility of some hail in that particular area. So do keep that in mind. Gusty winds and small hail is going to be probably the biggest threat to this. So let's go ahead and take this all the way out to the current radar image. Just so I can do my Nash Roberts here and draw a few lines on here. That there between Catawba, Port Barry, and Leonville is where we would possibly be seeing the hail, and that is going to be moving eastward over to around Krotz Springs. So if you live in the southeastern part of St. Landry Parish, hail could definitely be a threat when it comes to this particular storm. Once again, we'll go ahead and review that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect here until 4:45. Most of the parishes that are there shaded in red are already dealing with a lot of this thunderstorm activity, but the southern half of this particular warning area has still yet to get in, and I haven't seen a new severe thunderstorm warning pop up just yet. Kind of go over here to this other monitor and check it out, see if we got anything new that's coming down. Looks like there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that's popped up for southeastern Louisiana, including the Baton Rouge area and then going over kind of close to the North Shore region. But right now it looks like we're still just dealing with that same severe thunderstorm warning that's already been posted until 4:45. So if that expires, we'll probably step back away from the live stream. The live stream will go ahead and stay up. There'll be some music in the background, some rotating radars, and any other severe thunderstorm warnings that pop up. I'll just go ahead and jump in and do some play-by-play. But I do want to remind you that there is a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 8 o'clock, and it covers virtually all of Acadiana. Calcasieu and Cameron Parish and also St. Mary are not not in this particular severe thunderstorm watch. But because the conditions are there, there's a possibility we could see some damaging winds and also some large hail. And then rain is going to be another issue with this particular line of thunderstorms, because we've got some very saturated grounds over parts of St. Landry, St. Martin parishes, and then across much of Cenla that's just been repeatedly hit over and over and over again with the heavy downpours. Therefore, we're seeing some flooding actually taking place. Most of it is street flooding and some minor bayou and river flooding. But as I said, there's not a whole lot of room for any of this recent rain to go, as the grounds have been saturated for a number of days. So let's get back to the radar again, just to kind of give a quick check of what's going on. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. Go ahead and just kind of draw a little line around that. That is the warning box right there, and that covers Opelousas, Lafayette, Crowley, Jennings, Eunice, Basile, Elton is over here. You got Kinder. Reeves is probably in the corner of that. I would say Ville Platte and Washington are also in this severe thunderstorm warning as well. And it may have been dropped for Avoyelles Parish here. Kind of waiting to see if we get any updates on this particular severe thunderstorm warning, or if there's a new one that's going to be issued here. Right now, I would say that there could be an extension to this particular severe thunderstorm warning, but right now it still looks like it's going to expire in about 5 minutes. So severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect for Lafayette, Acadia, Jeff Davis, and St. Martin Parish until 4:45, and that severe thunderstorm warning continues for St. Landry, Evangeline, and Allen as well until 4:45. New severe thunderstorm warnings, though, have been posted a little bit farther toward the east, and it also includes the Baton Rouge area and even farther to the east going over toward Hammond, and I think that is in anticipation of these thunderstorms kind of moving on toward the east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. For those of you who live in Lafayette, again, we're still waiting for these to come in. The general movement of the entire MCS, which is a mesoscale convective system, it's just kind of a big blob of thunderstorms that has been holding on over southeastern Oklahoma and now has continued to move off toward the southeast, but it has been holding together, and you can see all the new severe thunderstorm warnings that popped up over southeastern Louisiana as well. So this is continuing to move off toward the southeast. A couple of more minutes still left for this severe thunderstorm warning that goes in effect, or that remains in effect until 4:45, and most of the region is still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock. That would include most of Acadiana with the exception of Calcasieu, Cameron, and St. Mary parishes. But can't rule out St. Mary just yet. I think Cameron and Calcasieu are pretty much in the clear, as most of this action is moving off toward the east and will continue to do so over the next several hours. Again, here is Cameron and Calcasieu parishes, and I think you guys are going to be in the clear, as most of this is just going to go ahead and shift off a little bit to your east. Jeff Davis, I don't think you have a whole lot to worry about except for the extreme northeastern part of Jeff Davis, but Acadia, Lafayette, St. Martin, St. Landry, and Evangeline Parish, do beware of these thunderstorms. They could pack quite a punch with some gusty winds out there. So still watching to see if we get an extension on this particular severe thunderstorm warning. Haven't seen it happen just quite yet. Do a little refresh on here and see if we've got anything new that's coming down, and does not look like we've got anything new, at least at this time period. So hopefully this severe thunderstorm warning will go ahead and just expire at 4:45. And now we're still going to be dealing with some decent rains and possibly some gusty winds, but it does appear that some of this might be starting to drop its way down below the severe weather threshold, which would be good news. But do remember that that severe thunderstorm watch stays in effect until 8. So another 3 hours or so, I think everybody will be in the clear. But just looking at the radar and looking at the trends that we've seen, it does seem like the western part of this is starting to get cut off from this. Now we're still going to see at least some development just to the south of this as well. So with these isolated thunderstorms, we're going to be getting the rain, but they don't necessarily go to severe limits. They're pretty small, and they're really kind of feeder storms. What they're doing is they're developing ahead of the line of thunderstorm, the big line of thunderstorms, and they're just kind of drifting off to the northeast and joining the rest of them. This is kind of probably what's going to happen with these as well if they hold together. They will join the rest of the line of thunderstorms, and then all of that will start to push off towards toward the east. So as the entire line of thunderstorms or the line starts to slide a little bit farther toward the south, that's why that severe thunderstorm warning was posted. But right now I'm not seeing anything that's going to indicate that this is going to stay at or above severe weather limits. I think this is going to be more of a rain producer, a lot of lightning out there. As far as hail, I'm not seeing quite as much of that, those signatures in here at this point in time, but there's some very, very heavy rains right now coming over southeastern parts of St. Landry Parish, and this is an area that got nearly a foot of rain over the course of the weekend. If you live in Cecilia, or if you live over toward Henderson and Brobridge and up toward Arneville, or any of those places in between, you know about how much rain you got and the flooding that already took place. So there's really no place for any of this water to go. So when you get these heavy downpours like this, you are going to have issues when it comes to flooding. And I'm most particularly worried about this area over southern St. Landry and northern St. Martin Parish, basically anywhere between I-10 and Highway 190. So that's going to include the cities of Krotz Springs, Port Barre, Leonville, Arneville, Cecilia, Brobridge, and Henderson. All of you are threatened with some more heavy rain and also the possibility of some flooding. So do beware of that. I think right now that is going to be our biggest threat here in the immediate Acadiana area. We're coming down to just a few more seconds left for this severe thunderstorm warning that expires at 4:45, but so far I haven't seen anything extended here in the Acadiana region, but it does appear new severe thunderstorm warnings have gone up east of the Atchafalaya River going over toward the capital city, and then that is going to surge eastward toward the I-55 corridor there into southeastern Louisiana, drift anywhere between, let's say, Hammond up to Amite, and then going up into southwestern portions of Mississippi. So a severe thunderstorm warning looks like it's going to go ahead and expire. Not seeing anything new just yet. Going to go ahead and click over. I'll go ahead and leave the radar up here for just a second so we can at least see what we're looking at over the immediate Acadiana region and on that I-10 corridor. So it does look like that severe thunderstorm watch, or rather that severe thunderstorm warning, has been dropped, and I'm not seeing any new severe thunderstorm warnings being posted as of now. It looks like the bulk of this is going to be heading eastward over into the Florida parishes, over toward the capital city. So again, we've got just a heavy rain threat that's out there right now, and some of this is going to be coming into Lafayette, and unfortunately it is going to be affecting your afternoon commute. So if you live here in Lafayette, or perhaps getting over to around Crowley, this is the I-10 corridor right in there, not the extra line, but that is the I-10 corridor. It's kind of hard to see on the map here, but it goes like that. So the rains are now approaching, as we were expecting, about 5 o'clock drive, getting some of the rains in. But the good news is that severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. So I'm going to step back here for just a second, do some updates on social media, fix the crawl here. And for right now, until another warning is issued, I'm going to step back and we'll just have a rotating run of radars and different weather graphics for you. And from then on out, hopefully we won't have any more warnings between now and the 8 o'clock time period. You're watching the live stream of severe weather moving across Acadiana on Acadiana Weather Today, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker.